Looking closer at the data he gets, he is amazed by it, and considers it to be really incredible. According to him, it wouldn't even be an exaggeration to call it a doomsday gene. As Xiao's decaying body hangs in chains in the lab, he smiles as he tells her to expect more surprises from him, since she just won't die. Then he revs up a chainsaw while laughing crazily and proceeds to cut her up some more. Xiao, who barely looks human anymore, asks if he has found the crystal core that he has been searching for and encourages him to eat it. While he holds a crystal core in his hands and continues his maniacal laughter, she asks him why he is hesitating so much. But Liu comes back to his senses and tells her that he won't eat it because it's just a piece of rotten meat. He shatters the crystal core, which surprises her, and asks him how he finds out. Slowly, Liu's image fades and Su Chen's face is revealed. He says that if he truly has a crystal core in his hand, she would have died long ago. She curses the fact that Su Chen had managed to escape. She finally found a suitable human for her goals, and she was just one step away from victory. But it all got taken away by our main character's insane mental fortitude. Su Chen slowly reaches for her head and says that he is going to open up her brain, but she tells him to wait. She starts crying out in anger and desperation, telling him that she is just a poor woman who'd been hurt. Then she tells him that if he wants her power, then she is willing to give it to him as long as he lets her go. Su Chen looks at her in pity for a moment and reminds her that once a Sakulina enters a host, then it takes over the host's consciousness. With that in mind, there's no reason for him to let her into his mind. After that, he grabs her head, and she tries to beg one last time, but Su Chen isn't moved. He squishes her head, causing her blood to spill everywhere. Her body starts to fade away slowly, and he wonders if it is due to the absence of the crystal core. With the crystal core finally in his possession, he is glad that there is no problem this time. Seconds later, he remembers that his original goal was to get a sample of her blood. With Xiao turned to ash, he wonders what will happen to the antidote he is searching for. Thankfully, he realizes that there must be samples of the antidote in the lab somewhere. It is said that once the crab parasite takes hold of its host, it will form root-like branches in the host, connecting various parts of the host's body and controlling their behavior. The parasitic relationship eventually results in the host becoming a slave to the crab parasite. Now, with the university completely cleared out, dozens of refugees are left wandering the streets looking for a new home. Thankfully, the floodwaters have receded, which means that streets are clear for them to travel through. But it also means that the corpses that were originally under the water have begun to mutate once more. As the group walks through the empty streets, they are told to stop looking around and to keep walking in order not to waste time. Yunyun is noticeably nervous and scared, and she asks Duanya where Su Chen is taking all the medical students. Duanya tells her that the escaped mutant rat men are lurking around the University of Science and Technology, and it is no longer suitable for human survival. The surviving medical students are scarce talents during the apocalypse, so Su Chen plans to take them to the safe zone area in the next town. Yunyun is upset because they still have a long way to walk, and she is already getting really hungry. She decides that she needs to go and find Su Chen in hopes that he will give her something to eat. But Duanya holds her back and tells her that she isn't allowed to go. Yunyun wonders why Duanya is being so overprotective and holding her back from getting food. But for the former chef, it's more than that. Duanya then tells her that since she is following them, she has to be obedient and do whatever she is told. Duanya remembers a time when Su Chen once stood over her as she sat vulnerable on the floor. At that time she was wondering what had gotten into him because he was acting strange. Su Chen has a fiery look in his eyes as he grabs her and tells her not to be afraid. He is just a little hot, and he needs to cool off by any means necessary. She couldn't believe it when he suddenly kissed her. But she didn't back out of it either. After that, her body started to feel weird, and the two of them started to fool around in the midst of a night of heavy rain. Back to the present, Duanya thinks about how wild Su Chen became after that moment they shared. She starts to wonder if it is a side effect of the crystal cores that he absorbs. As the group continues moving through the city, Su Chen says that after the flood recedes, bacteria, viruses, and even plants will start to undergo major mutations. Many resettlement areas will also start to collapse due to a lack of doctors. Doctors are really scarce at the time for them, and if they are able to make good use of the doctors they have, then they will be able to establish their own resettlement area. Apart from being able to get their own area, even if multiple forces emerge in the future, he also believes that they will have the capital to fight against them. In addition to that, the harvest at that time was good because Yunyun found a method of making serums and recovery potions. Su Chen believes that after Tianyue and the others are done recovering, then they will be able to give him a helping hand when needed. Thanks to his space ability, he was able to store all the research equipment and materials from the laboratory building within his dimensional space. He then wonders about the rat's crystal core that he absorbed. Not only did it enhance his berserker ability, it also increased his physical strength. The crystal core also gives him ice powers, and although he can only condense a little ice right now, he is determined to find a way to increase it in the future. As if he isn't overpowered enough, the crystal core of the half-body female mutant also adds more abilities to his arsenal. Her crystal core gives him 2 psychic abilities, but he is upset that he didn't get the power to create illusions. Tianyue notices a weird sound coming from around them, and the others get very nervous. Su Chen activates his first psychic skill, which is spiritual perception. The ability probably came from the corpse's appetite for blood. His eyes turn to a sharp red color, and he grows a very intimidating aura, which allows him to see the heat signatures from the blood of living things about 30 meters around him. It is like he has turned into a heat-seeking radar. He then notices that the members of the Devourer clan were preparing to ambush them. He can see the numerous mutated people hiding in the buildings and waiting for the right time to strike. One of the members of Su Chen's group sees something frightening and tells everyone else to look up towards where he is pointing. Above them, they can see a female who has been hung on the traffic light pole, and a girl among them notices that the person hung is known as Rui Rui, a former roommate of hers. She tells the guys to hurry up and save Rui Rui before it is too late. It is a life that needs saving, and she can't stand seeing her friend in such a humiliating state. One of the guys attempts to go and save the girl, but Su Chen stops him and tells him to mind his business. Su Chen then tells his group to keep moving and stop wasting time. The girl can't believe how cold-blooded he is. She wonders if Su Chen is even still human because it doesn't make sense that he would just watch someone die when there is still a chance to save her. Other people start to speak up and they accuse Su Chen of not being a man at all. They decide to stay back and help since they can't just stand by and watch someone die before their eyes. The girl orders them to put Rui Rui down quickly so that she can give her medical attention. Some of the men move to the traffic pole quickly and begin loosening the rope in order to rescue her. As they are loosening the ropes, arrows rain down on them and manage to pierce through most of the guys, killing them instantly. The sudden turn of events causes the once confident girl to shiver in fear. All of them can't believe that they just lost 2 innocent souls in an attempt to save one person. They finally realize it is a trap, but it's much too late for them to escape. 2 other guys burst out from the windows above them with axes. They quickly surround the girl and the guy she is with. The 2 men from the Devourer clan are as tall as mountains, and they tower over the group of people who tried to save their friend. One of the Devourer brutes grabs a girl by her face and licks her cheek to get a taste of her. Then he rubs his hand all over her body and calls his companion to come and have some fun with her first. The girl is scared senseless as she looks at the monstrosity that grabbed her head. She begs him to let her go, but there is no use. Her friend tries to fight for her, and he demands that the Devourer let her go. But he doesn't see the other enemy rushing towards him with an axe. The man is slaughtered in an instant and his blood gets splattered everywhere. As he dies, the brute tells him to accept his fate as food. The girl, however, isn't as lucky to have a quick death. The man rips her shirt apart and suggests that they keep her to breed instead of eating her immediately. The screams manage to reach Su Chen's group as they continue their march towards the safe zone. She asks him if the woman who was left hanging was used as bait, and he confirms it. But even though they've gotten what they want from the other group, that doesn't mean that they are safe yet. In fact, they are already surrounded by devourers. The guys start to panic and look around, hoping to find the attacks before they jump out. Su Chen, however, is as calm as usual since this is a perfect chance for him to test out his latest ability, Corpse Control. He activates it, causing his eyes to glow a bright purple, and immediately, several undead corpses start to march out of an alleyway to attack the devourers hiding away in the buildings. This is the perfect time to make the people about to ambush them know the feeling of being ambushed themselves. The Devourer clan is immediately attacked by the rampaging horde of mutated corpses controlled by Su Chen. They have no time at all to react, but they are still able to cut through most of them like paper. These things are nothing but distractions getting in their way, and the 2 brutes manage to rip and tear through them with ease, sending the rest of them back and knocking out the larger group like bowling pins. But in their tussle with the mutated corpses, Su Chen and the others manage to leave undetected. The 2 brutes can't accept that, and they jump out of the building they were fighting in down to the streets to try and chase after them. As soon as they land, they see Su Chen calmly waiting for them with his hands in his pocket. They fell right for his trap, and now there's no hope of them escaping anywhere. The 2 brutes are excited that there's one more person waiting to die, and they decide to kill him first, but Su Chen isn't bothered. It's too bad that the Devourers don't have crystal cores, unless he would have personally taken them out. Since they aren't worth his time, then he'll let the mutated corpses play with them instead. As he says that, several zombies rush out of their hiding places and surround them again. This time the numbers are way too large for them to just brush off like they did before, and they are forced to fight for their lives. Meanwhile, in Hicheng, Su Chen's group of survivors finally makes it to the safe zone they've been traveling to this entire time. A loud voice asks them what they are doing and why they are trespassing in their safe zone, and Duan Ya, who's leading the group, responds that they are travelers from the University of Science and Technology seeking refuge in the safe zone. Suddenly, a man leaps off the top of a building and lands in front of them. The man has a threatening aura and does not look happy to see them. Apparently, they don't accept trash in this place, and anyone who he doesn't recognize is trash, so he tells them all to get lost. Duanya tries to use her mind control powers on him, and asks him what gives him the right to deny them entry when this is a safe zone. But her powers don't seem to work on him. For a moment it looks like he's under her control, but he's able to snap himself out of it with a few light taps to his head. Duanya realizes way too late that this man must be an able user just like them. The brutish raises his axe and leaps into the air to finish them off, but someone jumps in to defend them just before the large man can land a hit on Duanya. It's Xiao Feng, and just like usual, he's fighting to protect people. He tells the larger man, whom he calls Captain Sun, that these people are only seeking refuge and there is no need to attack them. Sun doesn't care since these clearly aren't normal people. After all, normal people wouldn't be able to make it through the Devourer clan's territory so easily. He suspects that they must be spies sent from the Devourer clan to infiltrate them. At this accusation, Su Chen finally appears from behind the group to meet his old friend. He tells the brutish Captain Sun that if he doesn't want them, then he will just take the dozens of doctors he brought along with him to another safe zone. That catches all the guards' attention, and they didn't realize that there were doctors in the group. It's very rare for a single doctor to survive for so long in the apocalypse, and they managed to bring dozens of them all at once. Xiaofeng is excited to see Su Chen again, and realizes that these must not be ordinary survivors from the wasteland. With his old friend there, these can't be spies from the Devourers either. He decides to swear to his life that these people are his allies, and he will personally take care of them. Since Su Chen is in the group, if he says there are dozens of doctors, then he can't be lying. With what Su Chen has pulled off in the past, Xiaofeng would believe him even if he said he had thousands of doctors. With his own soldiers' words as backing, Captain Sun has no choice but to let them in. After all, if they have doctors with them, then they no longer have to bury patients alive anymore, and the sick among them can get proper treatment. Captain Sun walks away, clearly disappointed that he doesn't get to use his giant axe today, but before he leaves, he tells Xiaofeng that if these supposed doctors can't cure the patients, then he will have to take responsibility for the consequences, since he's the one that vouched for them. With the captain's permission, the other soldiers lead Su Chen's group into the safe zone, while Xiaofeng hangs back to apologize to his old friend. He asks our protagonist not to take offense and tells him that Captain Sun is just like that. Su Chen isn't bothered, however. After all, he has dealt with his own fair share of annoying people throughout the apocalypse. Putting that aside, he came with his large group of doctors at the right time. The safe zone has had some strange patients who definitely needed doctors' help. The soldier leads them to a warehouse deeper in the safe zone, where they keep the dying and the ill together. In the very back of the warehouse, he shows them the corpse of one of the victims of the strange condition affecting the camp. It's a woman who looks like she has been long dead. Her body is covered by hundreds of small white mushrooms that look like they were growing straight out of her body. They don't know what is causing these things to grow, but cleaning them off only causes them to grow back faster, and each time it makes the person weaker, until they eventually pass on. Su Chen immediately knows that she has been infected by some kind of mutated fungi. The plants are also mutating as well as the people, which means that they can infect and control people. He advises that they warn the others to be careful of young plant shoots, and to make sure that they don't get pricked by them. Duanya takes a closer look at the plants growing on the young woman's body, and realizes that they are using her for nourishment. For now, all she can do is take a sample of it and try to analyze it so she can develop a cure or medicine for the infection. However, this is just the beginning of the rapid mutations that will take over the world. If these newly mutated plants aren't cleared out, they will quickly grow and start attacking humans. When that happens, the Devourer tribe will use the opportunity to attack the safe zones, and many people will become livestock for them. Because of that, the Devourer tribe will become stronger, and that definitely isn't in Su Chen's best interest, which means that he has to do his best to protect this safe one so he can use it for his own needs in the future. For now though, it would be best for him to check out the situation and make sure that everything is secured. As he's considering his next move, a loud noise comes from somewhere else in the safe zone. It sounds like a van, and someone on top of it is shouting for people to get out of the way. It's the Lord's son, and he's driving recklessly through the streets. On top of that, he's firing a gun in the safe zone and attacking innocent people for no reason. Despite all of that, Xiaofeng's team isn't doing anything to stop him. The soldier tells Su Chen that his team has already been disbanded. It's probably because they let the newcomers into the city despite the warnings from Captain Sun. On top of that, this isn't the first time that the city lord's son has caused chaos in the city. He believes that the elderly and children don't matter, and they are useless to the safe zone. Because of that, he casually goes around running them over and shooting them down, and because of his status, there's nothing they can do about it. As he's driving, he notices Yun Yun, who's looking over an injured person lying limp on the street. He pulls his car to a stop beside her and cockily asks if she wants to get in his car with him. If she follows him, then he can take her to get something good to eat. Yun Yun slowly gets up and tells him that she's so hungry that she can't walk anymore, so if he wants to take her out, then he's going to have to carry her. The Lord's son happily agrees and calls her over so he can carry her. While Xiaofeng gets ready to confront him, Su Chen, however, holds him back, knowing exactly what Yun Yun has planned for the Lord's son. As long as he can carry her, then he can take her wherever he wants. As soon as he agrees, Yun Yun smiles deviously, then leaps off the ground into the man's waiting arms. But just before she lands, she grows rapidly to her largest size and smiles down at him as she falls. The Lord's son realizes the situation just in time and manages to avoid getting crushed by a giant woman. Her new size rips her jacket into pieces and makes her heavy enough to destroy the man's car. Unfortunately for him, he isn't fast enough to completely escape and ends up with a crushed leg. The noise of the crash alerts everyone else in the safe zone, and they make their way to the source to find out what happened. Meanwhile, the Lord's son screams as the pain from his broken leg hits him in full force. Yun Yun looks down on him, and luckily tells him that even when he's given the chance to prove himself, he still turns out useless. Then she steps on his already broken leg with her giant foot, causing him to scream even louder. The sound attracts the soldiers from deeper in the zone, and they hurry to check on him and ask what happened. He immediately points an accusing finger at Yun Yun, calling her a monster since she turned into a giant woman and broke his leg. Duanya steps in and uses her mind control ability to warp the memories of the people around them, and they turn on him immediately. They tell the young master that he actually fell out of his car and broke his leg himself. Thanks to Duanya's mind control, they all turn on him, and they are convinced that they saw him fall with their own eyes. The young master figures that they must all be involved in this somehow, and they all did this to set him up. With no other choice, he calls for his father, the Lord in control of the safe zone, to come and help him out of this mess. Captain Sun chuckles menacingly and figures that this interaction will be fun to watch. A car surrounded by dozens of soldiers pulls up to the scene of the incident as the young lord still sits on the ground, unable to move. Su Chen's group and Xiaofeng watch as the city lord steps out of his car and demands to know what's going on, the way several people rush to answer him, plus the crowd of security that pulls up behind him, shows that the city lord has an air of importance around him. Xiaofeng defends his friend and tells the city lord about Su Chen, and the fact that he brought dozens of doctors along with him to seek refuge in the shelter. Then he starts to talk about the young lord and how he started to cause trouble around the place. But the younger man cuts in and demands that his father kill them all for breaking his leg. The lord doesn't pay attention to his son's ramblings and slaps him across the face as soon as he starts talking. It looks like he has already warned the chaotic kid about his actions, and he's aware of the things that happen while he isn't around. This isn't the first time that he has told his son to treat everyone that comes into the settlement with respect. His vision is to turn the safe zone into a beacon of hope in the apocalypse, and to make everyone that comes to them feel some warmth. Because of his great dream, even his own son gets punished when he does wrong. That must mean that the city lord is a good man, and it's rare to find such a noble-hearted person in the apocalypse. At least that's what the crowd thinks as they start to cheer for him and his good deeds. The city lord turns to them and personally invites them to stay with them and build a new dream together. Here, they will provide the best food and the most generous conditions to make sure that they all survive in the new hellish world. Xiaofeng turns to tell Su Chen that thanks to the city lord, his group can now stay without any problems. But his friend is already long gone, as are his two girlfriends. They left the city as soon as the city lord appeared to avoid any problems. It's unreasonable to think that he won't try to take some kind of revenge since Yun Yun crippled his son. Because of that, the three of them have to sleep in the woods for the night. Yun Yun nervously tells her new sister that it's the first time she has ever had to sleep outside. Surely Duanya must have some kind of experience since she has survived in the apocalypse for so long. The former chef tells Yun Yun to stop thinking about unnecessary things. Besides, with Su Chen around, who knows if they will even be able to sleep at all. Our protagonist comes up behind them and warns them to stop messing around. Someone is coming and they need to be ready for an attack. Then he calls for the people hiding behind a pillar to come out and face them. It looks like they were trying to sneak up on the group without being detected. But Su Chen already knew they were there a long time ago. They come out of their hiding spots and ask if Su Chen thought he could hide so easily after breaking the young master's leg. There are dozens that surround them, and they tell him that there is no way for them to escape. But unluckily for them, Su Chen never planned to escape. He just didn't want to go on a killing spree in the city and end up accidentally hurting members of his friend's team. The men approach him and laugh at the fact that he's talking about a killing spree when he's clearly about to die. They decide not to waste any more time pointlessly talking so they can finish him off. Su Chen casually annihilates one of the men approaching him with a single punch, causing the other men to realize exactly what he meant by killing spree. They open fire on the group in a panic, hoping to take him out quickly, but Su-chan immediately pulls out his dual katanas and cuts through all of them in less than a second. The last man remaining begs for his life and tells Su-chan that if he's spared, then he will reveal the secret about the city lord. Our protagonist pauses his sword just before it slices off the man's head, then tells him to continue. The man tells them that the city lord has close ties with the nearby Devourer clan. Every week they secretly make a trade behind everyone's back. The city mayor gives up some of the refugees in exchange for food. Yun punches the man on the back of the head after his confession. They've been giving up young people in exchange for food this entire time. The man leads them to the city gate, where the deal usually goes down, and they see several people in a cage while a brute from the Devourer clan looks over them. He tells the guard that brought them that the food will be thrown to the gate by dawn. Then he grabs the man by his neck and lifts him off the ground. The guard struggles for a moment, but it's no use as the Devourer brute bites down on his neck and rips his head off of his body in one tug. The guards are just refugees hired temporarily, and the city lord never leaves any witnesses alive. The man asks if he can go now that he has told them everything he knows. But Su-chan has one more task for him. They take the man and tie him up over an empty street in an attempt to lure devourers towards the area. Their plan works, and his screams attract brutes nearby over to the empty place. To them, a person hanging alone in a dark place is just free food. One of the brutes asks why someone is hanging over in the middle of nowhere. But his companion doesn't care, and just wants to get his hands on the free food. They rush up to the guard and punch him in the stomach, causing him to cough up blood and pass out. But the noise they made from their mad dash to get free food triggers Su-chan's plan as a loud voice comes down from above them. It's Yun, who has been the one dangling the man over the alleyway this whole time. She grabs one of the brutes who fights for his life, while another one notices the glare of a sniper scope from a window above them. They finally realize that this whole thing was a planned ambush for them. Upstairs, Duanya carefully aims a sniper rifle at the devourers in the alleyway. She remembers Su-chan's words about how the devourers have mutated so much that their skulls are probably too hard for bullets to pierce, so the only way she can take them out is through multiple hits on one spot. She aims at one of the devourers, then fires 3 shots, managing to hit him straight on his forehead in 3 consecutive bursts. Meanwhile, the other devourer still fights against Yun's giant hand as it threatens to crush him. He doesn't notice Su-chan casually walking up from behind until he feels a hand on his. It's too late. Our protagonist places a hand on the brute's head, crushing it instantly, and then they go on to take out the entire group. With the Devourer clan's main force taken out, Su-chan and the 2 girls take all the food that was meant to go to the city lord for himself. Then they head to a house that's still in surprisingly good condition, despite how unforgiving the apocalypse has been. Inside, he summons a bed from his inventory as well as more food to create a feast for him to enjoy with his 2 girls. Duanya tells him that if he wants to own a settlement base, then he can just find a different place and conquer it as his own. There's no need for him to get mixed up in the mess between the city lord and the Devourer clan. While that is true, building a base takes a lot of time and effort, and he's not good at that sort of thing. For the actual management of the base and its welfare, he's going to need someone reliable who has experience working with that sort of thing, and that person just so happens to be inside Hicheng. As they talk, Yun appears wearing an outfit that doesn't leave much to the imagination. She sees both Duanya and Su-chan lying on the bed and asks why they decided to start without her. Su-chan lays down on the bed as the 2 girls climb around him, ready to fool around. Thanks to him, they have been able to live like humans since the beginning of the apocalypse, so tonight, they plan to return the favor and serve him well. While the 3 of them get freaky in the ruined city, the guards from the safe zone eventually find the hanging corpse of the man that Su-chan used as bait. The city lord Zhang mistakenly takes that to mean that the deal with the devourers went wrong, and he rushes to the Devourer clan to find out what happened. He asks the Devourer leader what happened, but the mutated man asks him the same question. In the aftermath of his deal, he lost 3 of his warriors, meaning that they weren't the cause of the attack. Despite that, the Devourer leader demands that they double the number of people that they send over as compensation for their losses. If he can't do that, then his deal with the Devourers will be cancelled, and they will attack his precious settlement. The city lord agrees to his demands, and Su-chan decides to burst into the party and make his presence known. Our protagonist has seen everything he needs to see, and it looks to him like the city lord doesn't even bat an eye while trading with other people's lives. The Devourers surround Su-chan once they realize that he's the one who killed the 3 Devourers sent to retrieve the people. They have no idea how he managed to kill 3 of their own. But now that he has stepped onto their base, there's no escape for him. City Lord Zhang calmly leaves the area before things get violent. As far as he is concerned, Su-chan might as well be dead for stepping into the Devourer clan's home territory. He rushes back to the safe zone to try and wrap things up quickly before it turns into a mess that he can't handle. He goes back to the safe zone and announces to everyone that there is a traitor in their base. He points the blame at the outsiders that Su Chen brought over, and accuses them of pretending to be doctors so they can infiltrate the base. He claims that in reality, they were secretly kidnapping refugees to trade with the Devourers for food. Since Su Chen ruined his plans, he has to be ruthless to make sure that no one goes against him again. The people in the settlement immediately turn their angry eyes towards Su Chen's group. They prepare to attack and kill them, but a loud voice stops everything before a riot starts. It's General Gao Yiwei, and behind him are Bei Kong and her brother. He comes in to defend Su Chen. From what he knows, our protagonist is a trustworthy man who has proven to be capable on multiple occasions. Since Su Chen brought them here himself, then they shouldn't be the problem. The city lord continues his accusations, saying that words alone cannot defend them. If he wants to show that they aren't traitors, then he has to prove it. A voice calls out from the top of a building above the settlement. It's Su Chen, and he claims that he can prove his own innocence. He brought the Devourer clan leader with him, and asked the badly beaten mutant to explain the situation by himself. The clan leader confesses that City Lord Zhang is the one who has been making the deals with him this entire time. The crowd turns angrily to the city lord, now that they realize that the man they've been supporting was the real monster this entire time. Zhang tries one more time to convince them that Su Chen is working with Devourers to frame him, but General Gao approaches the man and punches him in the face for his crimes. Now that the truth has been revealed, Zhang stops pretending about the situation and laughs menacingly as he reveals that he really is the one who has been exchanging people with the Devourer clan. But now it's the apocalypse, and all the places with supplies have already been taken over by the Devourers. They are just waiting for others to fall into their traps. As long as he keeps sacrificing a few lives that he sees as worthless, then he's doing a good thing and saving people. As far as he sees it, they should all be grateful to him for keeping them alive. After all, even the Captain Gao that's acting so righteous also ate the food that he brought back from the Devourers, so nobody has any right to judge him. Well, that's what he thinks, but Su Chen's fist begs to differ. After a sharp right hook to the face, Su Chen tells the man that he's a coward. In a world where the strong prey on the weak, trading lives for food isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's a coward's choice that makes him no different from the Devourers. With the former lord rightfully knocked out, Su Chen turns to General Gao and makes him an offer. He offers to build a place that truly belongs to humanity and civilization. In his previous life, he once traversed over the ruins, and eventually reached a safe haven that was on its way to becoming a utopian base in the apocalypse. There were no shackles of class and nobody cried of hunger. Everyone was well fed and they all had peace of mind. All this came from its creator, Gao Yiwei. But for now, he's only a deputy under the current city lord. In his past life, it wasn't until he discovered the dark side of the base that he decided to leave and build his own. All Su Chen did was make things happen a little earlier. However, the other soldiers had their reservations about the whole plan, even though building a base from scratch is way too hard, and if they want to do things their own way, then they can't live under someone else's roof. They have to establish a new base by themselves if they want to survive on their own. The city lord laughs at their plans of building a new base. Outside the safe zone of his city, beasts run rampant and zombies are everywhere. There's no guarantee of basic food and safety. Leaving his safe zone would be a surefire way of sending people to their deaths. The crippled lord's son advises his father to let them leave if they want to go. They'll eventually come crawling back once they've suffered enough. The other survivors also start to doubt if they can survive outside of the city lord's safe zone. If they don't want to die, then they have to take their chances staying with the coward, but at least they will get to live. The city lord feeds into their fears and tells the people that if anyone believes in their delusions, they can leave. But if they starve to death in the wasteland, then he won't be blamed for anything. But in that case, if the only problem is food, then Su Chen has the answer to all of their problems. After all, he was able to bring out the Devourer clan's leader so easily, and he has already made a name for himself as a powerful ability user. For someone like him, providing food should be easy. The Lord's son notices how all the survivors are starting to side with Su Chen, and he angrily asks the man if he thinks that he's some kind of savior. As far as he's concerned, our protagonist is doing all of this just to get attention. There's no way he even knows how much supplies a base needs. Su Chen estimates that even though his supplies aren't much, they are probably enough to support about 2,000 people for a month or so. Those numbers sound suspiciously similar to the amount that the city lord has in his warehouse. Just where could he have gotten those supplies? Meanwhile, at that very warehouse, Duan Ya and Yun Yun work together to take out the guards who are monitoring the supplies. Yun Yun uses her giant size to overwhelm them, while Duan Ya provides sniper support. With the warehouse completely emptied, he tells General Gao to hurry up and make a decision. He can either work with Su Chen, or stay with the traitorous city lord. With the options laid out in front of him, the decision on what to do isn't hard for General Guo. In this current settlement, people have had to deal with no proper clothing while also being constantly bullied. Now he learns that they have all been treated like livestock and sold to the devourers. Captain Guo decides that he cannot stay in a place like this for another second. He decides to join forces with Su Chen and establish a new base. Then he tells the crowd that anyone willing to leave with him can step forward so they can build a base where they can live in dignity. Bei Kang and her brother call their troops together and stand behind their captain. These were supposed to be the city lord's army, but after his betrayal, they are now only loyal to Captain Gao. He orders the few soldiers that are still loyal to him to point their weapons at Captain Gao and his men. The Lord's son menacingly points a gun at Su Chen and fires rapidly. If our protagonist had never shown up with his people and his plans, then his leg would never have been crippled. The bullets all miss, and Su Chen takes the opportunity to rush over and grab the younger man by the throat. He tells City Lord Zhang to order his men to drop their weapons, otherwise he'll snap the boy's neck. Not wanting to lose his only child, Zhang calls off the attack, and Su Chen tells the captain to take his people and the refugees away. Our protagonist will personally handle things from here. Captain Gao agrees to the plan and tells him that they will all be waiting for him at Shangyun University. With everyone gone, the city lord asks for Su Chen to release his son so they can both take a step back and talk it out. That is simply a plan to get Su Chen standing alone so that a sniper stationed on the roof of an opposite building can take him out. Our protagonist sees through that and orders Duan Ya to take out the sniper. In a second, the sniper's head pops like a balloon. With the sniper dead, Su Chen finally lets go of the city lord's son. But right as the father catches his son, he notices a grenade in the younger man's mouth. Just before it explodes, Su Chen asks Lord Zhang how human flesh tastes. Zhang barely has a second to respond before the bomb explodes, killing his son and leaving him shirtless and angry. That confirms Su Chen's suspicions from his past life. The former city lord Zhang Jianshu is a devourer hiding among humans. He's a level 2 devourer, which means that he's too much trouble for Su Chen to take on right now, but next time he won't be so lucky.